The most solid piece of advice that I could give anyone coming into the watch world is, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Especially when it's from a new emerging brand on the affordable market. I have personally been stung in the past by high promises and low quality products, which will naturally make us all a little bit more wary. Today, I am featuring a watch that goes completely against that narrative. And from the outset, I'll be completely honest with you. If I hadn't seen this in person, I hadn't gotten to know the brand myself and seen their past performances, I wouldn't believe it. I'd certainly never believe it for the price that they're offering it at. This is hands down, so far, my favourite Gada watch of the year. My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let me show you this hidden gem. This is probably one of the most well-made, well-specced and beautiful watches on the market at this price point. I know that's a massive thing to say with all of the options that are available to us today, but the workmanship here is absolutely next level. Now, bear with me because I'm about to try and pronounce this in Welsh. This is the Sgowt from J Sarnowski. Jan, the brand owner, set out to prove what can actually be accomplished in terms of quality when it comes to a budget piece. And while he assures me he is still turning a small profit, I just don't see how that can be possible. Right off the bat, this watch gives me Grand Seiko vibes. The shoulders of those lugs are formed to give a little bit more of a bulk and presence to the case, but the slim and elegant side profile to this case really drives this home as a much more sophisticated piece. Seriously, if you're looking for a stunning Gada watch on a budget, this is the one for you. The brush finish is so fine that it almost gives a satin-like effect. It is broken up by a slim chamfer of high polish, and that follows into the fixed bezel. The inside of the turned lugs is also high polish, and that works so well with the ends of the bracelet. Now, this is a prototype, so there will be more refinement in production, and this one has been around a few hands before it got to me. But I saw these in person at the Watch It Watch Fair, and the finishing was on point. I love the screw down crown. It sits deep inside the case and it has this almost grenade-like nailing to it. And obviously it is signed with the JS logo. There's so much to love already, and I haven't even started on that stunning dial, the insane hour markers, or the modified Myota 9000 movement. I know when we shop micro brands we expect much more for the price that we pay, but I genuinely do not understand how they've kept this under £500. It wears like an absolute dream, and a lot of that has got to be owed to the 45mm lug to lug distance. Even though it looks like it has a bigger presence, it still sits within that very nice wearable zone. It's 39mm in diameter. For me, that is the perfect Gada realm. The real magic here is that even with the more refined box effect sapphire crystal, this still comes in at 11.2mm thick. More importantly though, the slimming effects that Jan has utilized throughout this case with the high polished edges brings it down to look much thinner in person. The dials are going to be a massive draw to this watch. I have the natural amethyst dial with me, and that gives a beautiful purple tone. It is also available in lapis lazuli, which after seeing it is also absolutely stunning. One thing that does mean for us enthusiasts though is that each dial will be unique to the piece that you own. And let's be honest, as watch collectors, there's nothing that we covet more than a unique piece. The dial is made up of multiple metal layers, and on top of those we have an almost floating effect ring for the hour markers. And they in their own right are unique and brilliant. The hour markers are made up of Lume cast, which if you don't know is actually a 3D makeup of the loom to create those indexes and their shapes. It gives them such an incredible personality. That's without mentioning how good the loom is. At first glance you may think that this is a sterile dial, but it's not. Above the lower hour markers you can see it is signed with the brand name and origin. I love that Jan saw and decided that this dial does enough in its own right that he can leave his brand name in such a small touch. It almost brings it into the realm of Moser for me. You don't need the brand name there. You should just know what this is. The hands, again, are brilliant in their own right. They have an almost Apollo shuttle type of shaping to them, but the skeletonized section certainly adds much more sophistication to them, while the loomed upper section gives them that presence as well as functionality. I've held you off long enough now. It's time we experience the loom. Now, one note is that in production, this loom will be blue throughout. That is the feedback that Jan has received. But can we just take a moment to appreciate the shape that that loom gives to those indexes? That's what the Lumicast effect does for this piece. They almost draw you into the center of the dial, even in these low light situations. I absolutely adore this loom shot, and genuinely it brings the piece overall to an absolute new level. Do we even have to question that Gada functionality? The hits keep coming with this watch. I haven't even told you about the insanity that you'll see in the case back yet. Jan was incredibly excited to geek out about this when I met him, and he had every right to. This is running a Miyota 9039 movement, but it's not your run-of-the-mill, off-the-shelf movement. He decided that he wanted to add his own touch to it, and why not? Each bridge has been remanufactured with a never-before-seen sunray effect to it. It gives this mesmerising spiral finish to the movement, and it almost plays into that beautiful Coach de Genève type of finish. Obviously above that we have a customised rotor. The shapes are inspired by an ancient Roman horse bridle that was uncovered near Jan's workshop in Mold, Wales. Touching on that Welsh inspiration, there is also a tiny little Welsh dragon etched onto the bridge of the watch. I could end this section here and tell you how much of a steal this is for the work to the movements alone, but Jan decided not to stop there. Each piece is also hand assembled by him himself, as well as being regulated in his workshop. Every single piece, every movement, he does all of that work personally. How this man is making a penny, I have no idea. I should also note that you'd think that this screw-in display caseback would hamper the water resistance, but no. Sticking to its true Gada nature, this comes in with 100 meters of water resistance. As I said, best Gada watch I've had this year. The bracelet certainly has a jewellery-like makeup to it with the 7-piece links. There are both elements of brushing and high polish finish throughout it, and this is a screw-link bracelet. It itself is actually quite slim, and that really does aid the wearability as well as the articulation to the links themselves. The clasp is inscribed with the brand name J Sarnowski. By the way, Jan, I am so sorry for my Sgowt pronunciation of your name and model. The clasp is also milled with a on-the-fly adjustment, perfect for getting that absolute spot-on fit every day of the week. Genuinely, I need one of these watches for my collection. It is absolutely perfect as a everyday watch. And on another note, it absolutely kills anything else in this budget. If I had to pick any improvements that I'd like to see, he hasn't left me with much. Maybe I'd like to see a little bit of a taper to the bracelet, but I'm not that fussed. And for everyone else out there, I know that sterile-esque dials aren't for everyone, but I think this dial absolutely speaks for itself. I haven't even told you about all of the elements. Every time I look at it, I find something new. Like the texture in between the hour markers. Stunning. This one is available on Kickstarter from July 1st. The opening price will be £450. You'll never see this deal again because once these are gone, well, they're gone. Genuinely, you need one of these pieces in your collection. I know that because I need one. Thanks for watching today, guys. As I said in the intro, if I did not see this one in person at the Watch It Watch Fair, I wouldn't have believed it. Jan is doing some incredible work and is in danger of quickly becoming one of my favourite watchmakers, especially after having this one in for review. I've linked the Kickstarter page and his website in the description. Go and take a look for yourself, you will not regret it. And speaking of things that you won't regret, if you want more watch content on your feed, make sure you go below and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one.